Hello, my name is Michael Risk. Welcome to Expanding Capacity. Today we are going to focus on, actually this week, we're going to focus on the theme of squatting. And today specifically, we're going to focus on what the feet do when they're squatting. And the goal is to make each part of the body more functional as it relates to the activity that we're engaged in. So we're going to start with a little bit of breathing, just to settle the nervous system, make ourselves open to learning something new. Then we'll hop into a couple litmus tests. The first thing is we'll do a posture scan. We just kind of want to see where's our body in space. From there, we're going to go through what's called a squatting matrix. Anytime you hear me use the word matrix, it just means that we're going to move in 3 planes of motion, forward to back, side to side, and through rotation. We'll do a squat matrix to assess the level of our squatting capacity. Then we're going to dive specifically down into the rear foot and the forefoot relative to their function within squatting. Then we'll come back to the squat matrix to see, did it improve our function? We need that short feedback loop. That's how we sustain motivation. From there, I'm actually just going to be hopping back into my community to connect with my members. And we troubleshoot things that came up for them. Maybe they had some discomfort. Maybe they didn't understand something. And then we just also have a bit of a coffee chat. So, okay. All right. So let's get into it. We'll start with our 3 deep breaths. Okay, so let's check our litmus test now. And you will have to excuse me. My allergies are pretty bad in New Jersey here. So I'm going to just start with our feet about hip width apart, arms nice and relaxed. We're going to go eyes closed and then just check where are our shoulders in space. Are we more shoulders rounded, neutral, or chest out? I'm more on the rounded side today. Okay, now from here, what we want to do is we're going to go into our squatting litmus test. All right, so you're going to just place your hands on your hips. Your feet can just be about hip width apart, okay, whatever feels comfortable. And we're going to start with a rotational squat. I'll actually just turn around here. We're going to go from the center to the left, okay? So we're just going to twist for 5, 4. As we add a little bit of a squat, doesn't need to be super deep. We're just trying to get a sense of what's our starting point here. 1, okay, now we want to compare that to the right side. 5, I can immediately feel that it's harder for me to turn to my right. 3, 2, 1. Now let's alternate. So we're going to go 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. And putting them side by side, I could definitely feel the right does not move as well. So let's start by sliding our hips now to the left. So we're going to slide as we squat. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now we're going to slide to the right. Let's go 5, 4, 3. Now, interestingly, I'm more flexible when I slide. 1, and now let's alternate. So let's go for 5, 5, 4, 4. And this is why people have such a hard time resolving their challenges, is because we have different limitations in different planes of motion. And if you don't understand that, you're never really going to get a long-term fix. So in the last one here, what we're going to do now is we're going to go to a knees forward, followed by a butt back squat. Okay, but we're going to place one foot a little bit ahead of the other. So if you could imagine, my toes are lined up with my arch. Okay, right about there. And we're going to go knees forward and then butt back. So we go knees forward and butt back. And since the right foot is in the back, or whichever foot you have behind you, that's the ankle that's really getting assessed, because there's more stress on it because it's in the back. 5, 5. Okay, and now we're just going to switch that over. And knees forward, butt back. Knees forward, butt back. Oh, my apologies. I went right into the alternating instead of breaking them up first. And so we'll just reverse it. All right, so let's go back to the original side for a moment. This way you can get a sense of how each of those feel individually. Okay, so this is left foot ahead of the right. We're going to bend for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now switch that over. Okay, right foot just a little bit ahead. 5. And I feel when I put my right foot ahead, I do not squat as freely. I can't go as deep. Okay, now we're going to just switch back to the left lead. We'll go back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we go right foot ahead, back for 5. And same thing here for me. I can't sit back very well on this left side. Okay, but now we have a litmus test. We kind of know what our baseline is. We can do something constructive and then come back to see how productive was it. Did it create the desired chain reaction? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by loading our rear foot, which is the back of our foot. You're going to need something that you can hold on to. It can be a wall, but I'll just start by giving you my profile. And what we're going to do is we're going to place the left foot, the right foot ahead of the left by 1 foot length. All right, let me just turn here so you can get a better angle. And we're just going to start by sitting back into the heel for 5 repetitions. Okay, so we're going to go 5, just sit straight down and back into the heel. 4, 3, 2, 1. And now let's just switch that over. Okay, let's go left foot ahead of the right. And let's check that now. Let's sit 5 times. And immediately as I go to sit back into that heel, I feel a lot of resistance. My body feels like it does not want to go in that direction. 5. Okay, now let's switch back. What we're going to do here now is we're going to drop into that heel. We're going to hold it. And now we're going to pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That'll give you a really good, strong sense of how much load that rear foot can tolerate. And now we're going to go back. Ready? So we're going to go for 10, 9. And now it's really pronounced how difficult this side is for me to access. And when we have limitations like this, it creates predictable challenges. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the original side. But what's going to happen here is you're going to sit back. I'll just demo this first one. We're going to sit back. We're going to load that rear foot, but then we're going to push up onto the toes. All right, so we sit back into the rear foot, push up onto the toes. Rear foot, toes. Now, most of the weight is on my left foot, my weight-bearing foot. My right foot is there going through the motions with me, but it's kind of more just like a kickstand, a support leg. Yeah, let's go for 5 more here. So now we just want to see when we load that rear foot, how well does it perform? 3, 2, load to explode. Okay, now we're going to switch that over. We're going to go left foot ahead. We're going to load back into that rear foot and then push off. And so for me, because I don't get a good load in the rear foot, I also don't get a good explode. Right? They impact each other. So we load, explode, right up onto the toes. Load, heel to toes. So this connects our rear foot to our forefoot. 3, 2, 1. And just in case you're wondering why we're pushing off the ground, because that's not necessarily what we do in squatting, but we're exaggerating the mechanics because those movements do occur in the foot. We're just doing it to expand your capacity. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go and we want to play in a different plane of motion. Okay, so this one will be easier for you to see from the back. So I'm going to start with putting my left foot behind my right. All right, and now what I want to do is as I sit back into that left rear foot, I'm going to look over my left shoulder. So now I'm just going to feed a rotational force. 3, 4, 5. Okay, now let's stay here, but we're going to look over the other shoulder. 5, And now we're trying to bring the weight to the inside of the heel. 3, 2, 1. All right. Now, ready? We're going to go over that left shoulder and hold. And let's pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And then let's go other side. We're going to sit back into that heel, looking over the right shoulder. Pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to sit back into the rear foot, looking over the left shoulder. We're going to sit into the heel, and then we're going to push up onto the toes. Okay. So we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to look over the right shoulder, sit back into the heel, push to the toes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Now let's go and check the other side. So this is left foot ahead of the right. I'm going to start when I sit back by looking over my right shoulder. So again, this is no longer just loading the rear foot, it's loading it with rotation. And there's all sorts of rotational forces happening with every movement that we do. There's 5 there. Let's go over the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go back to the right. Hold, and now let's pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and now let's go over the left side and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now we're going to go back, looking over the right shoulder. We're going to sit back into the heel, push to the toe off. All right, so let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's do the same thing on the other side. We're going to look over the left shoulder, sit back into the heel, push up onto the toe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So we've got one more round to go through. We're going to go through one more plane of motion, then we'll go through our retest. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the right foot ahead of the left. And what we're going to do is as we squat and sit back into the heel, we're going to allow the hip to slide to the left. Okay, so let's just go for 5. So you're sitting back into the heel as your hips slide to the left. 3, 2, 1. Now let's keep that left foot in the back, but as we sit back, let's slide to the right. You can go a little wider in your base if you want or need to. This is definitely more demanding. 4. That's for 5. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the left side. All right. So go down and back, hold, and let's pulse. Ready? So for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now we go sit back into the right. We're going to pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And now we're going to go back to the outside of the left foot. Stay on the outside here. So keep the hip out to the left side. We're going to sit back into the heel, push up onto the toes. Okay, so more of the weight is staying along the outside of the foot. So let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, last one here. Now we're going to sit back to the inside of the left heel. Keep the weight on the heel, heel to toe. So for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So now we're going to switch that up. We're going to go with the left foot ahead of the right. And as we squat back onto the heel, we're going to let the hip slide to the right. Squat and slide to the right. And you might wonder why we're going in all these directions. It's because variety builds capacity. All right, now we're going to go the other way. So as we sit back onto the right heel, we're going to slide the hips to the left for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. We're going to slide back to the right side again and pulse. So let's go for hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to go slide other way to the inside of the heel now for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So now we're last round here. We're going to slide back to the right and hold. We're going to keep the weight on the outside of the foot, and we're going to go from heel to toe. Okay, so you're ready? So we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and let's go the other way. I'm going to sit back now on the inside of the heel, and we're going to load from the heel to the toe. So for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now, of course, we never really squat like that, but the whole point is that variety builds capacity. The more ways we do more things, the more functional we become. So now we want to go back to our litmus test, the squat and reach matrix. All right, and so let's go hands on the hips. All right, we're going to rotate the hips to the left. 2, 3. My body's just kind of flowing here now. I feel like I have a little extra pep in the step. Going to go to the right now. And that restriction 100% freed up here. I felt very limited twisting to my right. 4, 5, and let's just go for a few alternating. So we go for 5, 5. So we stand in the middle and squat on the sides. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Okay. Now sliding to left was hard for me. So let's see. The door is definitely opened. 3, 4. Not only that, but it's just easier for me to get there and come back. It feels there's more of a springy quality to the move. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now let's alternate. So we go for 5, 5, 4. And I would say this one didn't improve as much as the rotation, but that's not a bad thing. It's just telling me where I need to focus my effort. So I'd spend more time doing the hip slide and conditioning myself. So maybe I just need to get in some more repetitions, invest some more time under tension. Last one here. We're going to place the left foot ahead of the right. Just make sure your toes are aligned up with your arch. Feet about hip width. All right, now from here, we're just going to bend forward for 5, 4. And this actually was the side that was limited for me. Oh, nope, that's not true. 1. All right, and let's go back. 5, 4, 3, 2. But the overall movement just feels much, much better. So we go knees forward and back. We're going to alternate now for 5, 4, 3. Lost my balance. It's normal. 2 and 1. All right, and let's finish up. We're going to go right foot ahead of the left. Yeah, this is the side that was limited, and I could tell you it feels way better. This might even be better than the rotation that I had earlier. Okay, now slide back. I still feel some hesitation here, but it's a night and day difference. 4, 5. Okay, now we're going to go forward and then back for 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one here. And 1. Okay. We want to finish with our posture scan. So let's just go feet about hip width. And I made the 180 for sure. I went from shoulders rounded to now my chest is fully sticking out. Let's just pause here for a moment, keep our eyes closed, 3 deep breaths. Okay, so I'll see you back tomorrow. We're going to sneak up to the hips, and it's just really important to remember, if you notice any side-by-side imbalances or differences, that is the root cause of stiffness, pain, and discomfort. If you like help resolving it, come check out our community Expanding Capacity. Otherwise, I'm hopping into a chat with my community members now. Help them get the most out of this session. All right, make it a great day. Cheers.